You want to check out some really cool Red Rising covers? I got some really cool Red Rising covers. Let's take a look. Hello, and welcome to the Ponderings of Pete. I am Pete. This is my channel. Obviously, I would think, but, I don't know why I feel like I have to state that. I recently, about a month ago, got some new covers for my hardback Red Rising because I found some online and they were great. They looked cool. Pre-ordered them from Nerdy Inc., which will be linked down below, as well as the links directly to the covers. I've seen this done before in book 2, but I was like, why not give them some press and, show the cool things that I have, because I really do think that they're well done and I want to show you guys. So, let's talk about these covers. First up, we have Red Rising, the very first one that got us all hooked on this series. Well, I say all, but maybe not all. But this one, especially with the red highlights, definitely looks a little bit like communist propaganda, if we're being honest. But I really do like the look of these covers, kind of because I think the propaganda poster-esque of them just makes sense, especially considering the oppressiveness of the Gold Society. So yeah, we got a picture of Darrow, and right beneath him we got the Howler symbol. But up top, I think we can start looking at how quote heavy these covers are. There's a lot of little things from the books within these. In a lot of these, you'll see as it scrolls down, there's a lot of little backgrounds to some of the solid colors where they're kind of transparent, and you actually see pages from the book within. These two red stripes look like they're paint stained as well, and you can see little symbols of society within them. On the left and the right, we have "I would have lived in peace, and my enemies brought me war." And yeah, that's just one of those, and that also gives like very much propaganda poster vibes. That specific quote just being like, "I'm justifying this war." And then at the very bottom here, after those big block letters of Red Rising, we have lines from the amazing songs in this book, where you see, "Hear the reaper swing, the reaper swing, the reaper swing." On the back we have this big picture of Darrow just screaming in the foreground. And he's kind of like this off-white color with red highlights, with pictures of pages of the book underneath Darrow, which is really cool. In the background, we have what I believe to be Severo. Behind the horse, we also have a field of wheat, which is very reminiscent of Ceres and the take of the Ceres compound, as well as two other really unidentified figures. I don't know who they could be, they could be a lot of different people. And at the top, we have the quote that says, "Man cannot be freed by the same injustice that enslaved it." These are very, very incendiary quotes, giving it that pop propaganda feeling, but they're all really good quotes. And at the bottom, of course, we have "Break the chains," which is just a great quote. So, yeah, really good. And then on the side, we have, very basic. We have Red Rising, Pierce Brown, kind of a mottled paint and paper feeling. Below that leads into from black to off-white, and the Howler symbol. Really, really pretty cover, especially on the spine. I think these all look really good. I think the thing I like about this is that every book still looks like an individual. One thing that I don't necessarily like as much in fancy covers is I am one of those people that I don't like when all of the books look exactly the same. Like spine art, that's one thing, but when you have covers that make every book not have an individual character, where the front cover art is like basically the same or slightly different for every cover, that frustrates me, because every book is its own personality, its own identity. So I really like that these covers preserve that sense of identity for each of these books. As you can see on the inside, there's a lot of different symbols, and specifically these are all society symbols. In this one, you can see that the red symbol is the one that is highlighted in red. Each of these symbols is one of the peoples. The other really cool thing is the inside flaps of these. If you put them together, they actually form a saying, and this is on every single cover. The saying for this one is "Live for more," which is one of the quotes that started it all. So, shall we get on to looking at the pretty art on Golden Sun? Here is Golden Sun, Book 2. Immediately we notice Severo and the sign of Aries right beneath him. And at the top, as we scan down, we see the wording in that yellow band that's spackled with, feels like it's spackled with dirt. That specifically talks about Severo and this huge black and gray wolf along his back. Very nice. And then we have the quote says, "I am their sword and I do not forgive. I do not forget." Very reminiscent of Darrow becoming what he is in Golden Sun. And then under Sun and Golden, I really like how there's this like paint dirt splatter beneath them. It makes it so it's not clean. And I like that as a really just subtle undertone of like, this isn't a perfect world type of deal. And you see that, I feel like that's a theme throughout these covers. On the back here, you can see the Iron Rain clearly, and this was the perfect back picture for Golden Sun. The quote says, "When falls the iron rain, be but brave, be brave." So far, this has been my favorite picture. I love the Iron Rain. The concept of an Iron Rain is just so metal. I definitely love the feel of these covers. They're very smooth to the touch. That matte finish is really nice, and they folded really easily. It wasn't hard to fold them over the books once I got them smoothed out. The texture and the feel and the materials all feel really, really nice. On the inside, we can see that it has the exact same symbols as Red Rising, except at this time the gold symbol is highlighted in gold. And then if we look at the inside flaps, we have Hic sunt leones, which I'm sorry if I'm butchering the Latin, but it means "here be lions," I believe. Here be lions, here there are lions. Something along those lines is a rough translation. We have Morning Star. Book 3. Here we have a picture of Ragnar. All of these pictures kind of feel like a idealization of these characters, which I think is very appropriate. I think the part that I enjoy exploring in my own mind is the fact that all of these characters are mythologized within their own universe, and all of them have myths and legends around them already within the universe, and they're not even dead yet, excluding some of the quote at the top says, "The Reaper's come and he's brought hell with him." So motivating. We have at the very bottom, we have the quote referencing Ragnar, but there's hope in those still living in Severo, in Ragnar. That's a good quote to put there. I really like the depth that these pages that are bleeding through kind of give to these covers. On the back, death begets death begets death. We have Aja facing off against Mustang and Darrow has a ponytail, which is interesting. Never thought he had a ponytail. And there's a bright light, an orb behind Aja that also has more words underlaid beneath it. And in fact, this entire page has words underneath it. It's just they're really, really faint on some of the sides of the blue. On the inside, we have the same symbols as everything else, but this time we have the blues that are highlighted. And then we have the famous quote, "Break the chains," on the inside flaps. Just love that title they put for the inside flaps, because of course, being a specialized edition of these covers, you don't need to put a summary anywhere, because if you're going to buy these covers, you know what's happening. Now we have everybody's favorite book, which is Iron Gold. But the pretty boy on the cover is, I would say, obviously Lysander Aloon. We have the symbol of the golds beneath Lysander, and the quote reads, "Pain is a memory, love does not fade." Of course, Lysander ignores this. And if we move over to the back, we have a really nice quote of "War eats the victor's last," which all of these quotes that are on the back of these covers really sum up these books very, very well thematically. I'm not sure where this picture is taken. There's a dragon. I can't say I remember. I think is this on Mercury? I don't actually remember where there was a dragon carved into a mountain. So I'm not actually entirely sure who, but it's someone with long hair. I would assume it's probably Darrow, considering the theme. of Darrow having a ponytail in the last cover, but it could very well be somebody else. Iron Gold is definitely an underrated book in my opinion. There's some excellent things in there. Not Ephraim. I did not like Ephraim at all, but I'm sorry if you really like Ephraim. But it was also, Pierce Brown's first try at writing multiple POVs, but he did so much better in Dark Age, of course. Now, if we look at the inside symbols here, at first glance, it actually doesn't look like there's any highlighted, but if you compare this to the other covers, all of these symbols are not actually white. They're kind of like an off eggshell-ish white, and we can see the white symbol, the symbol of the justices, is actually highlighted in white here. It's very, very, very faint. And then we have, quote, on the inside flaps, which is Omnis Vir Lupus. And Omnis Vir Lupus is another reference to our howlers, which means everyone a wolf. And finally, let's get on to the final cover we have, and that is of Dark Age. So we have Darrow up above, up top, but it's definitely a more scarred Darrow, I think. But it says, I am the walking dead. Woe to those who cross my shadow. We have the Reaper's symbol right below Darrow's face, and just the similar but very dark themes in this one, of course, and that's reflected in the cover. If we look at the back, conversely, we have Mustang. I think this is the first kind of real picture of Mustang we have here with her peerless scarred scar. We have the red doves flying into the sunlight, as well as quotes and a page kind of underlaid underneath this, and the quote on this back simply says endure. Again, so appropriate for like what the themes of like what everybody was going through in this book was. Just everything was going down, but they just had to endure. And then if we look at the inside, we see just the inside. We see the same symbols as normal, but this time the obsidian symbol is dark. And then with the gray text that is hard to see on these flaps, we have Hail Reaper. Again, going back to the talk about how the Reaper is mythologized in this world, I would be very interested in see just a book from like the Red's perspective, or just more of a Lyria-based book. It doesn't have to be Lyria, but just like short stories from each color's perspective throughout the time of these books. Just like how did their perspective of Darrow and the Rising and the Reaper change over time? That would be such a fun thing to just see. Short stories. Pierce Brown, please. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate you getting through this. Go ahead, like, subscribe, join the Discord, hit that bell notification, all that administrative stuff that YouTubers usually say. I'd really love to interact with you if you want to comment. What do you think about these covers? Do you think they're the best covers? Do you hate them for some odd reason? I don't know why you would. They're beautiful. But if you do, tell me why. And if you really love them, what do you love about them? Are you going to get them? I don't know. But links are down below for Nerdy Inc. Check them out. They do some really cool covers. And, they're really passionate about making some really pretty things, which is great. Thank you so much again. And get some rest because you're awesome. And, well, rest is important. Bye.